Hello guys, welcome back to Writer's Tales, The Last Adventurers. This is the 9th story in the series, Icerigger. The protagonist get a distress call to a planet called Takoa, which is a nice planet. A tourist ship has crash landed and the passengers are afraid. You know, they want to be freed, icing conditions of course, and they want to be on their destination, So they go down and obviously, meet up with the tourists and everything else. But looming in the snowy environment is a tribe that are adapted to the cold, to the freezing temperatures, and see the tourists as trespassers very much because it's like built in a sort of like a tribesman area, very much like this whole property of the tribesmen, and plan to kill them, plan to slaughter them, of course. And it really is more of a situation of trying to survive, trying to get out away from the planet, trying to survive away from these tribesmen, of course, and trying to survive the temperatures as well. It depends on the planet's atmosphere and everything else. So, yes, and that's really what Icerigger really is about. So this is one of the last stories I actually have written for Last Adventures because I mentioned this in the previous story. It was to replace one story that I was really too happy with, or couldn't really characterize as much, which was Books of Uprising, which was like another historical-esque story. But in this case, I wanted like another planet story really, because there was only ever two, which were Feast of the Seven and Terror's Cradle. So I thought I'm doing another planet story and end up Icerigger, which I found in a book by a guy called Tim White, who does sci-fi illustration and artwork. Really, it was called Icerigger, and the picture had like a starship or spaceship crash land in snow, and people were just wandering around and explaining this land really, like a jet fighter landing. Yeah, I think it might be a jet fighter like just crash landing in the mountains or something. So I thought, what an interesting idea. And I always thought like the little picture. If you ever look for type of Icerigger Tim White, you can probably get something like that, because some stories are actually based on. I look at like sci-fi art or something like that, and there's a good title for it. Some stuff is sort of heavily influenced by that sort of imagery. This one's one of them, really, and there's some interesting bits and pieces on there, which I thought was quite interesting, really. And going back to the book, I remember getting it from Lancaster last year. And I thought, that'd be interesting. So I've ended with the book, and yeah, then this story just came out really. Because I always thought like, doing something like an ice planet would be pretty interesting really. There are quite a few stories, not two stories I tend to do it sometimes really. But I thought, just do something like that, Of course we got Tribesman as well, basically seeing the tourists as a threat, that sort of thing. And yeah. Why not? I mean, this is just like this was like a last minute edition. This was so, but that's where the story. Tourists are just being invaded by tribesmen on a planet because the spaceship's crashed and they need to survive. Protagonists come over, and just try and get them home and try and survive. The temperatures and the tribesmen. That's really about it, really. They're once a peaceful race, but they see people trespassing on their territory, and basically all hell breaks loose on that thing, really. And that's it. That is really Icerigger. That was just a stand-in, of course. One of the last stories to be written, of course. So, yeah, not much else to say, unfortunately. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, I'll see you for the next video, and I'll see you later.